Welcome everyone. So today I'll be giving a talk about strategic management and the use of AI as an enhancer in that process. So first of all, I'd like to say a bit about what strategy is. So strategy is how to make a company different from other companies, okay? So in other words, it's the uniqueness of a company's offering products or assets that will give it a competitive advantage over other businesses. And it is with having that unique advantage that a company can survive and succeed in the industry. Now, with the rise of AI now, there have been many potentials and many opportunities for businesses to leverage that tool in order to enhance its strategic management process. Now, what is strategic management process? Is the process whereby a strategy is formulated or is developed actually. And the strategic management process goes through three key steps: strategic analysis, strategic formulation, and strategic implementation. And we will see throughout this video how AI can be used throughout those three steps and how we can leverage AI in order to enhance those three steps. Right, starting with the first step, which is strategic analysis. So AI can be really helpful. First of all, let's go through what strategic analysis is. So strategic analysis is when the strategist analyze the environment of the business. So we start with the external environment, and usually this is split at the macro and the micro level, and then we move on to the internal environment, which is within the organization. And it's basically about the assets or the resources and capabilities of the company. So really the main step or the main purpose or the main task of this phase is to analyze those external forces that are likely to impact the business and the internal resources and capabilities that the business can use in order to address those external forces. Now, how can AI help in this regard? So AI, with its ability to analyze large amounts of data, with its ability to forecast what's going on in the environment or predicts events, can be really helpful in those analysis or those analytical process. So for instance, AI models or tools or applications can help you predict what future events can be. And usually it can do this by detecting or sensing what we know as weak signals. Now, weak signals are very important when it comes to the strategic management process. What's a weak signal? Is those subtle change in the environment that may turn into major change or major forces in the future that will impact your business, okay? And it's really important that a business or a strategist is able to detect those weak signals accurately. And here AI can be really helpful and really useful. So there's a lot of applications, a lot of tools that can effectively detect those weak signals in order for the strategist to plan accordingly, okay? So again, I repeat, AI can be really useful here in identifying the weak signals, which are often missed by strategists or often inaccurately, let's say, identified. So in strategic analysis, AI can play that role in capturing the weak signals. Now let me delve a little more in the weak signal concepts and perhaps provide some examples that would give you really an idea about how weak signals would look like and how would AI help in this regard. So for instance, nowadays social media is a very rich source in detecting, or is a very useful source for detecting those weak signals. So now consumers are increasingly engaging in social media content by commenting, by sharing, by writing reviews, and all this is very rich data that could hold within its content some weak signals that would predict some shifts in the future. And there are some AI tools that can help you crunch this data, that can help you analyze this data, go through this data effectively and efficiently in order to detect any possible shift in consumer taste or consumer trends, patterns, and so on. Another example of weak signals could be in detecting potential shifts in cultural and social movements or social shift or cultural shifts. So, for instance, when there are a number of social events happening or some emerging movements taking place, again, these could be indications of some future change that might impact a certain industry. And again, AI could be very useful here in or identifying those change that are likely to become major forces. Another source that can also be a place where weak signals could be detected are the scientific advances. So when it comes to scientific publications, technology patents, those could also present opportunities or reflect opportunities that will have major impact on industries, and the weak signals could come through new patents, through new publications in scientific reviews and so on. And again, AI can be very useful in this regard in capturing or identifying weak signals that might become one day a major force that will impact either your business or the industry in which you're operating in. So these are just brief examples wherein AI can be used in order to identify the weak signals that are likely to become a major force that will impact your business or your industry in the future. Now, moving on to the next step, which is strategy formulation. So after we finish the first step, which was strategy analysis, a strategist will move on to formulating the strategy, which is, as I said, step number 2. Now, this step is the creative part or the creative phase, where the strategist will match the analysis or the findings from the external environment with the findings from the internal environment. So we match the external forces, the external threats, opportunities that are likely to impact the business with the organization's resources and capabilities in order to then, through that matching, develop either strategic decisions or a new strategy if that's the aim of the task. So here AI once again can be really useful. How can this tool be useful? It can be mainly through optimizing the resource allocation process, because what step 2 is really about is about how to allocate your internal assets, internal resources and capabilities to or how to use them in order to tackle and address the external forces that are likely to impact your business. So it really relies on a very good, or it depends on how good your resource allocation is. And here with deep learning and generative AI, you can do this effectively. So there are some tools, there are some AI applications that help you optimizing the resource allocation. Also because, as I said earlier, it's the creative step. And AI can help you a lot, can empower you as a strategist into increasing your creative capacities in coming up with innovative strategies that are likely to create that uniqueness of the business, so that are likely to provide you with a competitive advantage in order to succeed in your industry. So AI can be a very useful tool in creatively generating, let's put it this way, strategic decisions that can be your key to success in that industry. Now, moving on to the third step, which in the strategic management process, which is strategy implementation. Now remember, the first step was strategy analysis, where we analyzed our environment. The second step is where we formulated our strategy based on that analysis we did in step number 1, so where we matched our internal resources with external forces. Now we'll move on to the third step, which is implementing the strategies that we formulated in the second step. Now, one key aspect that we need to begin with here is evaluating the relevance of those strategic decisions. And here AI can be really useful. Now, AI has this capacity of simulating events or simulating scenarios of whatever you have formulated. So you could use your AI to put in place some simulation that will tell you to what extent or how likely the proposed strategic decisions that you formulated in step number 2, how likely these to work, or how likely are these to be relevant to the industry that you're working in or to your business. So going through a scenario planning step can be really useful in predicting whether what you came up with, what you forecasted, or what you developed in the formulation stage is likely to work or not. Another really benefit of AI is its ability, because it's a deep learning technology, it has the ability to learn from historical decision. And as you are implementing the strategy, or as you are implementing the strategic decisions, AI can be continuously adapting your decisions, and it will do so in accordance with the data it's assembling, it's collecting from the strategic decisions that you are implementing. So this learning ability of AI will allow you to continuously improve your strategic decisions as you go through. In the past, before AI, we used to do that manually, perhaps every 6 months, where a strategist would go back to its strategic decisions and reassess their ability, their relevance. Now with AI, this is a process that will be done continuously, almost like on live terms, and you will get continuous updates on how your strategic decisions are doing and whether they are addressing the issues and the problem that they are meant to address. So this is really a key benefit of AI in that step, is that continuous learning and continuous adaptation in this process. Now some closing thoughts about this video. AI will never be able to replace strategists. Instead, we should look at AI as a collaboration between, or as a tool to help strategists, to empower strategists in their activities or in their planning, in their strategic planning. So we should really here emphasize this human-AI collaboration as key to successfully implementing AI. AI will never compete with the strategist. AI will never be able to make judgment for you. Instead, AI can help you come up with tactical decisions, but the human judgment has to always be there, because that's the point that should have the last word in the process. Okay, so AI is only here to assist the process, to empower the strategist, to help make the process more efficient, more effective, but it will never replace strategists.